Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to the secluded corner of the patch. The moon is high, and the shadows are deep, and before you lie yourselves down in your beds and close your eyes for the night, I invite you all to gather around the campfire for tonight's tale. Settled in the heart of a small and forgotten town, there stood a decrepit house that whispered tales of terror to all who dared to listen. Locals referred to it as Blackthorn Manor, a name that would send shivers down their very spines. It was said that the house was cursed, haunted by a malevolent presence that preyed upon anyone who crossed its threshold. A young couple, Sarah and Michael, recently inherited the ill-fated property. Drawn in by the allure of adventure and the prospect of a new beginning, they decided to move in and to make the house their home. Little did they know that their dreams of a peaceful life would soon transform into a nightmare beyond their darkest thoughts. From the moment they set foot inside the house, an oppressive heaviness hung in the air. Shadows danced along the walls, casting eerie silhouettes that seemed to mock them. Strange sounds would echo throughout the empty rooms, whispers of voices long silenced by the house's curse. Sarah, ever the skeptic, brushed off these ominous signs, attributing them to the old house settling. But Michael couldn't ignore the increasing sense of unease that gnawed at his sanity. He began to hear unearthly moans in the dead of night, as if tortured souls were trapped within the very walls of the house. Finally, one stormy evening, as rain pelted against the windows, Sarah and Michael found themselves huddled together in the living room. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died, plunging them into an inky blackness. Panic set in as they fumbled for their flashlights, their only source of comfort in the overwhelming darkness. As they made their way to the basement to check the fuse box, an icy hand seemed to brush against Sarah's arm. She let out a blood-curdling scream, her voice swallowed by the pitch-black void that surrounded them. Michael, too, felt an unseen presence, a malevolence that seeped into his bones, freezing him in his tracks. They stumbled upon the fuse box, desperately trying to restore power, but their efforts were in vain. The house seemed to taunt them, playing with their fears and reveling in their helplessness. Shadows writhed along the walls, assuming grotesque shapes that danced in the corners of their vision. Fear turned to dread, as they soon realized that they were not alone. Ghostly figures materialized before their very eyes, their faces twisted in agony and despair. The specters moved closer, their moans growing louder and more anguished. Sarah and Michael could feel their icy breath on their skin. Their presence was suffocating. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, Sarah and Michael fled from the basement, desperate to escape the clutches of the malevolent spirits. But the house seemed to conspire against them, its corridors shifting and distorting, trapping them in an endless maze of terror. Hours felt like an eternity as they navigated through the hallways, their sanity hanging by a thread. Each door they opened revealed new horrors, their minds tormented by grotesque apparitions and macabre sights. The very essence of evil seemed to saturate the air, infecting their thoughts with despair. Finally, when all hope seemed lost, a faint glimmer of light appeared in the distance. Sarah and Michael raced towards this light, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and relief. Bursting through the front door, they found themselves standing outside of the house, their bodies trembling with exhaustion and terror. As they turned to look back at Blackthorn Manor, a bone-chilling laughter echoed throughout the night. the house seemed to cackle its triumph. Its curse, claiming yet another victim, Sarah and Michael, vowed never to return, haunted not only by the horrors that they witnessed, but also by the knowledge that evil still lurked within the shadows of that cursed abode. And so, Blackthorn Manor remains a testament to the malevolent forces that can inhabit a house. A constant reminder that sometimes the darkness that resides within the walls cannot be escaped, and those who dare to enter may find themselves forever trapped in a nightmare from which there is no waking.
And that concludes our story for the night. I do hope that you've enjoyed your time here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd enjoyed tonight's story, or you have any requests for subjects of a future story, please comment down below. Now, if you'll excuse me, the night is still young, and there are oh so many things to discover. Sweet dreams.